A great big thank you from all of the team at Dimensional Life for clicking this video. We truly hope that the contents of this video bring you a step closer to the light of Sophia.
Sophia, the Angelic Snitch by Ellen K.
Sophia, why have you left me, my divine light? This one statement triggered the most insightful journey of my life, and I hope these words will inspire you to take your own beautiful journey of discovery. It can seem that our modern world is full of division and conflict brought about by our unfortunate human condition that makes us susceptible to bad decisions under the conditions of fear and stress. Our modern world is exploited by money and power-hungry people playing on those fears to cause us to jump at their well-advertised solutions. As many people fall foul to this modern playbook, where is the divine light and how can the ancient knowledge of Sophia help us? Chapter 1. Who is Sophia? Sophia is the name given to a state of mind and actions that will ensure your full potential in life is discovered and embraced. We can all embody this divine power and purity of truth. Sophia is not feminine or masculine. Sophia is a place of perfect balance and wisdom. When we find the state of mind of Sophia, we naturally excel at our choices and feel the arms of life hugging us all the way. We have become separated from Sophia in modern times and feel the forces of luck and love are against us. Sophia is back to help us all. It has been clear to me throughout my search for Sophia that this mighty wisdom has been there to find, but was hidden amongst the wise women and men of this world, waiting for the time when the toxic masculine forces had lost their power. Now we are in this wondrous time where women and men alike are encouraged to stand as equals in a harmonious state of karma and reflection. This knowledge can help us to find our way back to the light and heal the hearts of us all. All humans and most animals have the potential for a sweep of emotional states from joy and elation to fear and sorrow. For many years, those emotional states of being have been subject to society's expectations, such as men shouldn't cry and women shouldn't nag. These cliches and pressures have led us to be a society of repression and behaving certain ways under pressure. This has been the consequence of toxic masculine attitudes in both men and women. Before I embark on this adventure to convey Sophia to you all, I should explain my reasons, as it was a true act of toxic masculinity from a female that triggered this journey that took a good few years. In my mid-30s, I was staying with a psychologist friend, and in taking casual interest in his work, I found myself venting my opinion about men and how I perceived the majority of them at that time. My failed marriage had a lot to do with this outburst, but without realizing I had just started tarring all men with the same brush in front of a man, and a reasonable one at that. He just looked at me and asked if I knew of the dangers of toxic masculinity. His response instantly triggered me like a pissed-off bee ready to sting, so I declared that women cannot be toxic masculine. He promptly pulled up a case file from online, asked me to read it and draw my own conclusion. The case involved a woman psychology student who had taken in a male lodger and decided to use him as a study case to attain her major. Thus, she decided to study male stress and subjected him to continual pressure and harassment over his lodging. The result was horrific and she ended up dead. But in that moment, I saw the toxic choice driven by success and power. I conceded instantly that clearly we can and do display toxic masculine attitudes. Perhaps not so Darwin Award-winning as that chick, but clearly we do, and it triggered this once power-hungry businesswoman to consider how could we be so blind and cold if we then want to jump on a pedestal of we are the feminine and the caring ones. In that very moment, my toxic masculine choices came rushing into mine, and I realized that something inside me had been missing. The problem was that I didn't know what. Surely I had known better, and in hindsight, it was obvious that it was going to generate the same bad outcome for women as it did for the men. It became clear how easily I had been programmed by life to think that these attitudes and ways of thinking were normal and needed for success. Toxic self-consumed choices made with no thought for anyone else but myself, and my desired outcome was a trait that I seriously disliked in men. But there I was seeing every moment I'd blindly miss while being exactly the thing that I accused them of. Having stood there for a few moments with a serious penny drop look upon my face, I just looked at him and asked, "What the hell can I do about this?" His response was simple. "Go and find Sophia and your toxicity will be fixed." The problem was that I had no idea what he meant from those words. I certainly didn't know a Sophia, and being as I was a busy businesswoman, I didn't really have the time for his cryptic puzzling. So in frustration, I demanded that he explain what he meant, to which he replied, "You can't find Sophia when you are that uptight." I just lost it and stormed out. However, the thing with psychologist friends is that they often know you well, and he had played an ace card with me as he knew that the name Sophia would burn in my mind like a hot poker. I became so frustrated that I had to duck it. At first, I thought he was being really facetious due to a robot called Sophia that at that time was the latest robot AI and all over the internet. But then I read another article that said Sophia means wisdom in Greek. As I read those words, I just knew that this was what he had meant. However, why say find Sophia and not just tell me to wise up on toxicity? I just had to know more, so I clicked the article and it started the beginning of something truly incredible. The article discussed many concepts of the name, but in Greek its full meaning meant the ability to discern wisdom and to sense truth from fiction. This made total sense as despite my academic training, thus self-declared intelligence, I was often having problems and aggravation with someone and occasionally many people. It seemed like I never spent time in positive emotional states and had found myself getting further into a place of victim every day. I decided my friend had been very clever and subtle about the way he did this, but now I've got somewhere with this Sophia quest. I can go tell him I found her. To which he responds, "Well, you have done well to see her so quickly, as you now know that I was really trying to help, not sending you on a wild goose chase, but seeing her and finding her are different." Damn, that man frustrated the hell out of me back then. The next 10 years became passion and an obsession to find and bring Sophia into the light when the time was right. My journey has taken me around the world mentally and sometimes physically to search down the truth and piece this ancient puzzle back together. Chapter 2. Finding Sophia. My first step from here was to ask around and see if anyone had heard of this concept and, more importantly, the knowledge of Sophia. I suspected that due to the subject not being on anyone's curriculum, they were going to be as clueless as me. I very quickly realized that no one at any time had taught me how to detect fact from fiction, and mostly we were conditioned to just do as we are told or get into trouble of some sort. From school to college to university to work, we were conditioned to just do as we were told, so therefore never learned the art of discernment. I knew at this point that I needed to find someone that knew the way to discerning truth and how to know what's right for me as an individual. I started to look at this question slightly differently from there as I realized that I needed to look for the people that do have good judgment. My mind went to doctors, judges, and policymakers, but the more I asked around, the more I could see how their decisions were often called into question. At this point, I started to think that maybe everyone is just winging it based on emotion, like I am. This realization was both alarming and shocking to see that no one taught us discernment. I considered this to be a good time for a change of direction, so I asked a few friends where they would turn if faced by life or death decisions. The answers I got back were mostly the same, such as doctors, older generations, and best friends. But there was one recurring answer that was new and on another level to my comfort zone. Many of the women I asked responded with the answer fortune teller or tarot reader. I found these responses very challenging to my way of thinking, as I'd never seen these directions as anything more than fun entertainment. This was, however, a convenient path to take, as my psychologist friend had several colleagues that knew this subject and practiced the concepts. In hindsight, I should have found this out a better way, rather than by declaring my disgust at the idea of making serious decisions based on woo-woo stuff. However, another display of my toxic masculine attitude. Fortunately, he took no offense and quickly arranged for me to meet with several psychics and readers. This part of my journey was the biggest eye-opener of my life and changed my perceptions forever. As I sat listening to one of the women who lovingly took the time to guide me on the subject, the light of Sophia switched on. She explained the state of mind necessary to become a good reader, and as the words sank in, a massive epiphany ensued. She told me that every time she turned the cards for herself or someone else, her mindset was very simple. I'm here to give the purest answer in the most loving way, as she understood that if people could see the way to go, then they wouldn't need the cards to help them, and the answers will therefore normally challenge them to do what's right, not what's easy. She explained that it was important to take the time thinking how to explain it in as loving and caring a way as possible without diluting the truth. These words made total sense to me, as my inner dialogue didn't take time to be nice, as it was always blunt with me, and even worse, it always demanded quick, simple solutions so I could just respond and move on to things that were easier. Having no time or patience with myself was causing me to rush everything, especially finding answers to problems. I just wanted them to go away. This woman's whole ethos was to take time, think clearly, and let the forces of divinity inspire the natural genius within. Whether that's angels, God, guides, or quantum mechanics, these forces were accessible to everyone. She went on to say that by knowing what to ask these incredible forces of life, we could get answers that work in harmony with the thinking areas of the brain, leading us to inspired outcomes. She explained about our body energy and how negative states such as fear and anger lead us to panic decisions and mistakes based on fight or flight reactions. This could easily be overcome by regulating your breathing for as little as 30 seconds, and providing you have a fair amount of faith in your own thinking potential, you can tap into the many tools of Sophia to find impeccable answers to the toughest of life challenges. Even if you don't have any faith in your thinking potential, I recommend giving it a try, as you might find your true potential lay in the hands of Sophia all this time. These conversations were the start of something massive for my life, and I hope they inspire you too. As my search for Sophia continued, the emphasis on asking the right questions and being in the right state of mind continued through all cultures and practitioners of discernment, including many public figures and high-level decision makers. This discovery was a milestone in this journey, and the day I saw Winston Churchill's Druid inauguration pictures, this puzzle started to make sense. It was clear from all I had seen and heard that there was more to this world than material gain and getting your own way. There is a middle road where the answers allow us greater confidence and a deeper sense of truth to our outcomes. Along my journey to find Sophia, I got told many things from many people and heard many things about Sophia online. It taught me to use discernment well and really understand my own intuitions, along with the concept of using the tools well. It would seem in this world that some people do actually believe that there is some benefit to sacrificing living things to archaic ideas of divinity to help them make good decisions. My discernment told me that this wasn't a good idea, and I was presented my modern ideas of divinity that suggest that 5D gods have no choice but to offer us our reflections as a greeting. I wasn't sure that I wanted to be top of their sacrifice list, and what goes around comes around times 3 probably means that the 2 closest people to you are screwed too, so food for thought. This book contains many tools of Sophia that I have found from around the world and the knowledge of how to use them well. However, the most important are the questions we need to ask to ensure that our lives have the greatest chance of the best outcomes. These questions were harnessed from many women from many backgrounds to try and make sense of truths to the questions that are not asked or discussed for often good reasons in modern times. I hope this inspires all men and women alike to dig deeper into the power of good thinking and to never convince yourself that there isn't a better way. There probably is, and your mind just needs a gentle hand to see it. It didn't take me long to realize that my mind reached for the trusty old answers bag right at the moment life was presenting me with the chance to find a new perception, a new amazing outcome. To start with, my mind resisted thinking differently as I clung to familiar shores, thus perpetually committing my life to boredom through repetition. However, the more that I saw the solidity of how this worked, the easier it became. I had realized through this that my psychologist that was well versed in this subject and had been pretty diplomatic throughout my journey so far, so I decided to have a discussion with him about it. He discloses to me that he did in fact know about Sophia, but was himself a Taoist that used Sophia concepts as part of his philosophy to life. This meant that he used the rule of 3 as well as cards and other methods, but advised me on my path of truth to always get 3 different sources for answers and then decide what those answers are trying to tell me. He also explained that it is one of the reasons he values his psychic friends so much, as they often agree on highly intelligent answers without conferring, and many times just confirmed his highly unusual methods. This made total sense in his position to work with a psychic think tank. More importantly, it changed my opinions completely about having what I would have once called strange friends. In fact, the stranger the better from here, as I now knew that if they were very different from me, then their answers will challenge and stimulate my mind the most. It was clear that only repetitions can come from repetitive thinking, and my new motto was to challenge a new and better outcome. I decided to ask my friend if he knew of a good example of the Sophia way of doing things that he could show me to demonstrate this concept. He agreed to show me on the smallest of issues first, and to be honest, it worked out to be a very good outcome. He suggested that we applied the concept to the situation of dinner. I was a bit surprised to start with, as I didn't think that the tarot cards or any other tool of Sophia was going to know what was in the fridge. I did, however, avoid the toxic masculine outburst and went along for the ride. Firstly, he asked me what I would look forward to if I was going out to eat at a restaurant. Immediately, my mind was eating a fudge cake dessert. Warm, gooey fudge cake with ice cream and sauce was now fighting with my logic and common sense. I can't say that it's pudding, not dinner. I simply replied, "There's lots of things that I'd like if I went to a restaurant." He grinned at me knowingly and then showed me a random tarot card generator online. He then asked me to press the screen for a random card to appear. The card that came up was the moon. As I scanned down the page, the words read, "Your answer can be found in dark and unexplored places. The results will be brilliant but may take some time to realize." At that moment, I knew that fudge cake was seriously on the cards. But how, as we didn't have any fudge cake and it was miles away to go and get one? I had no choice but to blurt it out and reveal my leapfrogging of his dinner idea, and had landed on pudding. He just looked smug and said, "Well, we better get on with it then, as it will take us a few minutes to make it." My eyes lit up as we spent the following hour making fudge cake and decorating it with as many sweets as we could find. We compromised on some ingredients and cut a few recipe corners, but it was delicious and definitely the most fun I'd had making dinner/pudding. I don't eat fudge cake for dinner too often now, but damn, it was a liberating experience doing something so small but still challenging to normality. I challenged myself from there to try and inspire great ideas for all aspects of my life, and it didn't take many more attempts at this to realize how good it was, also how much stronger my decisions and confidence had become. Now, I wanted to do everything differently to normal, as I realized I had the potential to make every aspect of my life so much better. It was clear to see that all of these tools of thinking are there to inspire the mind and enhance our thinking to give better reflective outcomes. As a woman that held firmly to old beliefs, this was the point of real success, and the wisdom of Sophia was within my grasp. At this point, I'd like to say how very grateful and honored I am that so many wise women, mothers, and young women devoted so much time to helping me learn the tools and offer their thoughts on what are the important questions to be asking. Chapter 3. Tools of Sophia. These tools will always be showing us the way to the best outcomes for everyone that is also in line with good karma and reflection. This will ensure the best chance of not bringing bad reflections back on ourselves. The answer your mind perceives is no different to your hands reaching out to protect you if you fall. It is your brain reaching out to help you. So have fun and enjoy the love of Sophia tickling your inspiration. This power of truth and discernment guiding you will bring a new dynamic to life that will enhance your understanding and solutions forever. Inspiration cards. Oracle and Tarot are probably the best well-known and well-established, but we can easily create our own deck by understanding the concept and creating cards with personal symbology to you. Simply turn a card whilst thinking about a question and see how the picture and words inspire your thoughts. Animals. All animals have traits and characteristics. If you see a repetition of a certain animal, then consider its characteristics and see how those behaviors apply to the biggest situations on your mind. You may be surprised by what you see. Some practitioners of Sophia have kindly published meanings to many animals online that can be found by searching either spiritual or druid meaning of. Many practitioners will pay attention to all animal sightings without need for repetition and find this method very helpful. Music. The phenomenon of music in the mind is something that most people ignore, but not Sophia followers, as they know better. Next time it happens to you, pay attention to the lyrics, as that very song may hold the key to clear thinking and trigger some of the trains that lift your outcomes immensely. Clouds. A well-known place to see random things, it is often a great source of inspiration. From inkblot tests done in the lab, we know that the mind sees and associates patterns to objects, faces, animals, and more. Clouds offer the same great opportunity to encourage your mind to reach out to what it needs to see. Maybe an animal that you need to research, or a landscape that takes you back to another time and place. Television. Have you ever tried turning on the TV to a random channel and listening to what the first 20 seconds say? Sophia followers find this very insightful and find some amazing things happen when you open the door to these inspirational methods. This technique is often used in conjunction with focusing your mind on a certain problem or question. The results are often spectacular. If used in line with the important questions mentioned later in this book, then this technique can improve your life immensely. Just don't get drawn into what comes on and spend the next hour watching the program. Radio/MP3. Randomizing a radio station choice can be another great direction for inspiration. You can also use pre-existing music media by randomly choosing the track. Pay attention to the full lyrics of the track and also in title. You may be surprised just how helpful it can be. Many people realize their mind has been reaching out for these answers already, as the best answers often come from our favorite songs. Some might suggest these are the songs we resonate with. Books. If you happen to notice or glance at a book, try picking it up and open it at a random page. Then read the first paragraph or observe the content of the page if it's pictures. You will be amazed how well your mind can reach out to save you with this clever method in your bag of Sophia gifts. This method can lead to some giant epiphanies and can be done with any book. Even a child's story or cookery book could be holding just the right answer to stimulate your mind. If you happen to get given a book by someone, then pay close attention, as the power of Sophia has spoken and true wisdom lay within that book if you know how to find it. Opening such a book at a random page will possibly blow your mind and show you wisdom you have always needed, whether you realized it or not. Psychics and sensitives. Most of us have sensitive friends or family, and some of us have openly psychic people around our lives. These people are often the most insightful people to be around. I now ask the ones around me to let me know if any music pops into their minds while I'm around them. You never know if the jukebox of their mind has more relevant songs to my dilemmas than mine. I myself have this phenomena occur sometimes when friends or family visit me, and I always like to ask if they are interested in what music is playing in my mind. It's a great gift of Sophia that my social group all enjoy. These friends also tend to be the ones to mention strange, obscure thing I've never heard of. I pay attention to those things and look them up online to see what I can find on the subject. I like to see if the path leads to anything outstanding, and it normally does. Internet. Try selecting a random video or article that either pops up or draws your attention. Try not to be swayed by the title. Just click it and see what you read or hear in the first 20 seconds. Some followers of Sophia like to select a random number between 1 and 20 and then load up YouTube or similar and watch the video that is corresponding to your selected number. I like to just count videos, not ads, when counting down the list. Select the video and watch for 20 seconds. This is one of my favorites for answering questions and inspiring my mind when I'm seeking solutions, as it has led me to answers that my mind would never have thought of without this random inspiration. There are many more tools of Sophia that can be found from traditions around the world, from rune stones to tea leaves. Many ideas, methods, and techniques have been used, each allowing the mind to reach out for inspiration in unique ways. Just remember the reflective nature of life and choose wisely. The ones I've focused on are my personal favorites and the ones I enjoy using the most. Positive attitude leads to positive answers. Make it fun. Chapter 4. Questions to Sophia. Allowing Sophia into your life will change you in wonderful ways and can be as simple as walking forward in life and paying attention. However, some Sophia practitioners choose to problem solve their way to the best possible path of destiny with these methods. The key to the best success is to have an idea of what Sophia is likely to show you if you just kept asking the forces of inspiration without any questions or problems in mind. These answers were a little harder to find, and it took quite some time to find the ones I thought were universal to everyone. However, along the way, I realized that as life circumstances change, the inspirational forces change with them in order to stay in alignment with any responsibility we choose. So, if we choose a sudden career change to something very different, the forces of inspiration will adjust and present exactly what we need to see or hear. The same will happen if we have kids, and the old way of thinking or inspiring ourselves may no longer work and need some recalculations. Inspirational thoughts for generating a good night out will change with both those responsibility changes occurring in our life. I was given a chance by the forces of destiny to spend some time watching, listening, and mapping these answers in my path of truth. As I watched and discerned answers, the truths I needed presented in front of me one by one and bit by bit. By the end, I had found Sophia and had experienced something that I would hold close to my heart forever. No one can take my love of Sophia away now, and I hope my words inspire your own personal journey of discovery and connection to this incredible wisdom. As soon as I committed to the journey to seek this incredible truth, I found myself being shown things about me, my past, and how life had formed my ideas, personality, and decisions. These clever forces clearly showed me my own perception of myself, a few tough realizations about my prior moral conduct and pending karma. This part of my journey was very revealing, and by trusting the Sophia forces, I was guided effortlessly to the best solutions to life issues and important questions. It also guided me to great solutions to tidy up my karma too. Once these truths about myself were fully digested and my mind had developed real confidence to bring forward the part of myself I'd been hiding, the journey got deeper and definitely very worthwhile. It seemed that shortly after this I had my greatest epiphany about getting my life own issues right. These awesome Sophia forces reached out to me with a very useful gift. The ability to see past the mask we wear of mother, sister, boss, friend, brother, father, etc. It guided me to see the people beneath the expectations of those labels and how to develop great relationships with the people around me. We can all forget the human fear and panic condition that we all suffer that leads to the need for the knowledge of good discernment. No mask equals good discernment. I also learned a lot about animal consciousness at this time and have developed much better relationships with all creatures since being inspired. No sooner had I got my relationships in good order, or at least close to realistic expectations, than the forces switched to pointing out and reminding me of all the things I once was, all the things I had wanted to do and be but gave up on. These forces seemed to be rebuilding me into a stronger, more aware version of myself. The version of me that I had always wanted to be, but with the confidence of choice-making I had never thought possible. This time, embracing Sophia was mind-blowing. As one issue after the next, my mind reached out and found the answers to every perceivable question I had, from past lives to personal relationship seeking, and Truth of Sophia will change your life. The truth of Sophia is there to be found and inspire you to the best directional outcome to could ever think possible. Around this point of my journey, I had met a shamanic teacher who worked with similar ideas to Sophia, but I was told at this time that everything happens for a reason and I should consider addressing every question or niggle I have in life, as it is important to our minds that we leave as little as possible unresolved in our consciousness. It would seem they were right, as it became very clear that the forces of repetition would continually bring issues to me that I had been ignoring. I was advised against ignoring repetitions, as the karmic reflections of this could be seen as overworking unicorns on treadmills to power up the Sophia forces to help us, so best to not keep ignoring it, or life will have you mucking out the unicorn stables before you know it. I like that analogy that one of them offered me. I found this concept really fun, as I was able to find answers to questions that had bothered me for years. The answers I found were amazing. Sophia led me to exactly what and where I needed to look to find them, allowing my mind settled to questions I had since my childhood. I became so enamored by the forces of Sophia that I shared these findings with friends and family. I asked them what questions they had for Sophia, and then we took a journey to find some inspiration and discernment. Whilst finding amazing coincidences and synchronicities along the way, I have broken the questions down into 4 sections. There are questions about ourselves, other people, our destinies, and the paranormal. In each section, I thought I'd show the trinity of evolution in our life path of responsibility in a recognized understanding of the life growth trinity. Before children BC, motherhood MH, and wise one WO. This allows you to see what's on the minds of different women at different stages of responsibility in their life. And in case you are wondering about the men's questions, I'm currently working on it. I hope these questions and the answers we found are helpful and interesting, but this whole book is about discernment, and I plead with you all to harness this wisdom. Find your confidence, then seek the answers and personal truths yourself. Each section will include the questions that I've personally found the most helpful to ask for great insight from the powers of Sophia. This is followed by questions that seem important to many women along the way. I hope they inspire you as much as they did me. Chapter 4: Generic Questions for Sophia. The questions in this chapter are some of the best questions used by experienced practitioners to analyze the different aspects of their lives. Have fun with these questions, as I'm sure the answers will surprise and amaze you. Myself. What do I need to look at about myself to be able to sustain the best energy levels? What do I need to see and learn about myself? What weaknesses do I need to understand about myself to make myself stronger? How can I bring back my internal feminine power? What is affecting my life negatively from the past, present, and future? Others. How can I better my relationship with? What part of myself can I develop to improve all my relationships? What's the reason I get objections to my ideas for best outcomes? What do I need to know about this situation to better understand my relationship to it? What reflections am I generating to cause myself problems? Destiny. What do I need to focus on to enhance my destiny and take positive steps forward? What am I doing to stop my destiny unfolding? What do I need to see to allow my destiny to progress in harmony with those around me that it will affect? Paranormal. What should I focus on to bring me back to elemental balance? If you are a real fiery hothead, don't be surprised if they direct you to a large body of water. I've been sent there many times. Where should I look to embrace my soul journey? Where do I need to look to find past life answers? Chapter 5. Questioning Sophia. These questions were on the minds of females that I met throughout this journey, and I found the answers we got to them to be truly enlightening. Please enjoy and take comfort in knowing that we all have some stranger questions in our minds sometimes, and finding the answers to seemingly meaningless questions can be truly liberating. Self 1D. Tears BC. Question. Why don't men cry and we do? Answer. Men do cry but hide it at all costs due to it being seen and reinforced as a sign of weakness in media programming. This failure to find safe venting to emotional overload is often the trigger for depression and suicidal thoughts. It is essential to the future of human mental health to support the natural emotional release methods, such as crying in both male and female development patterns. Emotions need to be understood for their true potential of knowledge before suppressing or dismissing them. Demonizing the yin/femininity BC. Question. Why is there such a stigma and controversy over women being feminine and men being masculine? Answer. It is clear that men and women have the potential for both attributes, and often the situations and trigger points to any moment dictate the response from either, such as the genuine softness in a man holding a newborn or the hardness of a mother defending her child. So we have the need to be both and support the need for others, both male and female, to transition between masculine yang and feminine yin behavior when needed and necessary. It is important to bear in mind that our species won't exist without primal response patterns between heterosexual couples. This human nature pattern is often enhanced by taking our primal roles for the best outcomes. Periods BC. Question. Why do we have to suffer periods for most of our lives? Answer. Periods are the body's way of natural cleansing, which is essential to prepare the body for an ethereally clear energy field when harboring new life. This cleansed energy existence allows women to be more intuitive and spiritually connected, which is essential during the early years of a child's life. Your periods are developing those eyes in the back of your head, which will certainly be needed. Pregnancy BC. Question. Why is pregnancy so scary, and why do only women have to go through it? Answer. Any journey into the unknown is scary, and the point of bringing life to the world comes with a change to our karmic responsibilities that are often not understood or addressed beforehand. This leads to walking into the whole experience only half educated, even if you could have the best physical knowledge of what to do with the best parents to cover your back. Knowing the karmic responsibilities and necessary changes to lifestyle and decision-making that provide the best long-term outcome for that child is the only way to take the fear factor away, or at least diminish it. It is perfectly normal to be worried about the responsibility of being a mother and the potential discomforts of pregnancy, but like the need for karmic thinking. A little time learning how to best naturally treat symptoms and problems you might face will only prepare you for being the best mother possible when those little ones have their moments of discomfort. Grow up comments BC. Question. Why do I get told to grow up when I'm an adult paying my bills? Answer. As we get older and take on more responsibilities and stuff, we increase our need to be more responsible and self-disciplined, which often we fail to do before we get all the stuff. This leads to friends and family often seeing the inevitable bad outcome and blurting things out like grow up as a push to accept the responsibilities we have. It is easy to be annoyed with people for these outbursts or implications, but a sure sign you need to be asking Sophia where you need to pay more attention or a touch more self-discipline. What I want to be PH. Question. Why can't I ever seem to achieve my goals or make my life what I want it to be? Answer. Many people aim too low in their life trajectory, only limiting themselves to the path of material and superficial gain. While you are aiming the wrong way, the forces of life and Sophia are trying to aim you to a loftier path more in line with the best outcome for who you really are, and lots of positive life reflections. The best way to get what you want is to align with your higher self and make sure you aren't doing anything by reflectional understanding to mess it up for yourself. Avoiding labels PH. Question. How do I keep my identity and not just become a label of mom and wife? Answer. Finding our own interests and outlet of creativity is often ignored in favor of a good movie or night out. However, these are distinguishing things and often what we get known for, such as being a good artist, dancer, or writer. Find your self-expression, and you will always be that to everyone if your passion for it shines. It helps to remember that you are not a Disney princess, as that identity is never good in the first place and makes all other labels, no matter how real and karmically enforced, quite a come down. Don't like being told what to do, PH. Question: why do I get so annoyed when people tell me what to do and how to run my life? Answer: karma will never let you think someone can know better than you regarding your life and decisions, as nobody but you can feel your gut instincts to what you face or the reasons you may need to go a long way round to learn a valuable life skill. However, they can know a lot more than you till you harness the knowledge they have about your situation. Try looking at these people as desperate to impart some Sophia wisdom, even if they are pretty bad at it. Maybe agree to a one-shot blow from them if they shut up afterwards, just so they get it off their chest. Growing old WO. Question: how can we allow ourselves to grow old gracefully without losing our feminine power? Answer: it is essential to find your inner power and not your outer appeal. As we age, the laws of karma insist that we become wiser and attract people to us by our personality and the reflections of an attractive soul. This ensures you emanate true beauty, and it is never lost but gets more beautiful with age. Soul attraction is endless, so focus on being a real benefit to society in your choices and actions, as this will ensure you will always glow and attract others. Life can take our physical looks and painted beauty away so fast and without warning, so never rely on what's on the outside for your happiness and lifestyle. Imparting wisdom, PH. Question: how can I give wisdom to less than accommodating people? Answer: firstly, ask yourself the question, why do I want to save them from this life lesson that I see them facing? It might be the making of them through this lesson. Secondly, consider if your choice to enlighten them is a one-off surprise truth or just another person getting on their back about the same thing. If you can get to this point and still feel that what you have to give as insight is needed, then show them your mistakes and why you took those choices. Be clear about what you learned from the lesson at hand, and then leave it with them to see if they handle it better, or at least bail out when they see it going down the same path of mistakes. Feminine power WO. Question: how can I still feel sexy as an older woman? Answer: the act of getting old is a real pressure if you are not prepared. The simple answer is to stay mentally positive and only look in the mirror on good days. Combine this with an attractive soul energy and your inner glow will prevail. However, staying positive with age is hard, as most people fall behind on their life lessons and the pressure mounts up. This leads to a negative perception to almost everything, especially self, and that repulsion we feel towards ourselves is pushing compliments and pure attraction away. The path of Sophia will be sure to catch you up on those life lessons real fast, and you will be amazed at the positivity you will feel as that negativity dissipates. True inner power and the ability to feel good in yourself comes from knowing that you are on the right path, with the forces of Sophia inspiring great choices and outcomes. Ego issues WO. Question: how can I get control of my ego? Answer: just realize that your ego is a selfish voice in your head, luring you into a reflection that will be times 3 harder when it comes back around, and it's gonna smack you when you least want it to. Then realize a life of thoughtful, moral choices makes your whole life outcome easier and nicer with less argument. Use karma to your favor, not to your destruction, as that egoic, selfish being lurks in everyone, and they are all looking for excuses to let it out. Witches and wise women, PH. Question: I've been told I'm a witch and feel drawn to paranormal things. What should I do? Answer: the term witch is often used in modern times to describe someone who has a very obvious auric patterning and energy about them. This energy pattern is obvious to similar people who have taken interest in these subjects. It simply means that you are a magical due to having knowledge and abilities that not everyone is born with. This knowledge and understanding can be attained by anyone in life. However, if you are born like it and identified for it without any current learning, it often indicates that you have lived before and learned the knowledge in that lifetime. Priestesses, goddesses, wise women, and witches are just women that are prepared to give a damn more than others, thus have more knowledge about giving a damn. Wise woman transition WO. Question: is there a simple path to be the wise woman that I'd like to be? Answer: the answer is simple, but the path is a little more in depth. Being a wise woman is about knowing people well and having many ways to give a damn. Once you have made the conscious decision to be putting yourself into the task and have the wisdom of Sophia beside you, it's easy. Stay aware, and life will bring you the tools of success as you need them. And in the meantime, take a look at some astrology of the 5 most predominant people in your life to learn their traits and powers. Also, find natural solutions to the last 5 ailments that people have told you about, and let the magic of the wise woman unfold in front of you. Others 2D. Moral guidance responsibility ph. Question. Do we have an obligation to morally guide others, and why can someone be considered a bad influence? Answer. We have a karmic responsibility for ourselves and our dependents that will remain until we die, as our own reflection and attitude shape those around us. If we have a karmic responsibility for their future, like being a parent, then we have to understand that they cannot rise above our moral stance and reflections whilst at home, as they will be conditioned to repeat it and more if we hypocritically demand better of them. We must lead by example and have a good understanding of our own reflections before we can even hope to be a good effect in any way on others. It would also seem that karma is happy to judge us and give us a lesson for misguiding or badly influencing others. Parenting imbalance ph. Question. Why don't men traditionally look after the children and often have more distant relationships with them? Answer. The more sensitive nature of women that is highly enhanced during pregnancy allows for a mother to understand every cry and facial expression in the child at a deeper intuitive level than the father's. This is essential to survival and development of the child, and not possible for fathers without training on the subject or being a highly spiritually open father. Fathers' relationships are often strained with children due to the nature of going out into male work environments and having to deal with male banter and hard-ass bosses. This leads men to have a harder auric disposition or personality that is often too hard for the soft nature of the children to bond with. However, this harder nature combined with love is essential to the child's development too, as getting to grips with their fathers is an important step to prepare for the harshness of school and the big wide world. Avoiding primal fantasy triggers BC ph. Question. Why can't men act respectfully to my choice of clothes and makeup? Answer. It is our willpower to drive the monkey body that we inhabit as well as possible whilst avoiding the primal urges that get us into trouble that hold the key to this problem. Men have primal response patterns to sexual triggers the same as women do, and their primal response has been demonized by society due to it getting out of respectable limits. This is, however, promoted by the media and Hollywood as normal, but the reflections of our men going out with ignorance to the primal triggers that they are pulling is bad, or even worse, a seeing that they know what they are doing and playing the ego game for the ladies is going to lead to conflict or reflections that they don't want. Check your ego's reflection before hating the attention that you are attracting. We are all trying to drive our monkeys well, and karma doesn't smile kindly on those who lead others down bad monkey paths. Even if they do behave, karma is still gonna spank you. Losing the family unit ph. Question. Why has life taken my family unit away? Answer. This is because the family unit was not going to best serve your destiny or future karmic path. Many people find themselves estranged from their families and often feel their families have betrayed or let them down. However, the truth may be that they were or would hold you down without you having found the path of your own 100% choices or decisions. It is well known that family thinking is limiting and narrow-minded. Treat yourself to the knowing that you don't have to make their mistakes before doing it your way. Being seen as a sexual object ph. Question. Why do men see women as sexual objects? Answer. The mind of a woman is often looking for the deeper connection that includes being on the same page mentally, seeing eye to eye over the future, sharing emotional states, and more. However, this is a problem when the sales pitch is playing to the primal trigger on the front page and not the brochure of product thoughts, dreams, and future plans, let alone thoughts of destiny and progression. We should consider how we take our product of what we are to the marketplace if we want better than primal responses and monkey bidders. Plus, remember that some women will be as forward with you as men, just a lot less often. Oppression through vulnerability BC. Question. Why do men take advantage of feminine vulnerabilities? Answer. It is human nature to seize on opportunities of weakness in situations of trying to obtain our goals, and there are many times women push men's vulnerabilities too without realizing. It is essential to determine the difference between men being masculine, dominant monkeys, and anyone being toxic masculine and oppressing your will. We have all been programmed to be dominant at times and submissive at others, and everyone's upbringing and conditioning is different. We must understand our own reflections of oppression, as women are all too good at being a silent narcissist that triggers implosive men to overbearing responses. Women have the natural ability to generate the most motherly and kind reflections that can be used to overpower anyone's toxic nature. The world is a reflective place, so use it to your favor with love and kindness, not selling yourself as the damsel in distress. Parenting skills ph. Question: how do I find confidence in my parenting skills? Answer: the right approach is the key, and not letting your fear or ego get in the way of letting you confirm your gut feelings. Parenting has predominantly been about instincts for many years. Even if you read every parenting book around, it's almost guaranteed that your kid will do something not mentioned anywhere. This is part of our personal development and growth that is brought about by the act of bringing life to this world and being responsible for guiding it well. It is pretty clear to most parents after the first one that the natural parenting instincts and the karmic responsibility we take on keeps our minds and the forces around us working together to ensure the best outcomes. Just focus on being a guiding light to your child, and the natural forces will have the best chance to ensure the best outcome. Traumas WO. Question: how is the best way to help people through trauma? Answer: trauma counseling is a complex thing, and professional help is best for deep traumas. However, if you have been presented with a traumatic event or find yourself in a support situation of a trauma victim, the best thing is to not put traumatic response on top of trauma. Do not pour fuel of vengeance on an argument or injustice. Remember, all things happen for a reason, and no matter how tough, everything we survive is definitely a lesson. Trauma often occurs as a result of many people's actions and choices that lead to it. The lessons learned and the trauma minimalized while lawful justice is being sought if needed is the best way to allow the person to move forward from it and not to get paralyzed emotionally by it. This is especially important for children, for all little mishaps from grazed knees to broken bones. Your response will dictate their memory and define how they respond to events from there. Don't make a drama out of a crisis, and life won't feel like a soap opera. Soul health ph. Whoa. Question: how can I ensure the good soul health of the people around me, especially my children? Answer: we encourage our children to stay physically clean with waves of water and soap. Their mind is as easy to keep clean with waves of sound or smells. The mind gets dirty from all the electromagnetic pollution. Our electromagnetic self absorbs, and getting into the family habit of cleaning you all thoroughly will set them on their way well and enhance your lives too. Just let waves of positive sound or smell drift through your senses and lift your soul by the ears or nose. It is also important to pay attention to repetitive dreams and creative outbursts with loved ones, especially children, as these will give you the advance warnings on things lingering in their subconscious that may need a little extra attention. If so, just consult the forces of Sophia to be guided to the best resolve. Age of mothering ph. Question: how do I deal with the stigma of being an older mother? Answer: the gift of being an older mother should at least be worn as a badge of bodily strength and fertility, which is a feminine power statement to the world. As long as you have taken the path to be a moral example of guiding your child well and using the gift of wisdom to outshine the self-absorbed ones that are missing their moral obligation to the task, you will be looked up to and consulted as a voice of wisdom, due to the forces of Sophia seeing you as a perfect vessel of truth to all mothers you encounter. It's simple with a little Sophia guidance. Be wiser, shine brighter. Men and spirituality BC ph. Question: why do most men dislike the topic of spirituality? Answer: the answers to this are many, but the most common to arise are the soft, fluffy nature of feminine spiritual events and practitioners, combined with no solid instant evidence of its reality or effectiveness. They consider other things a better use of their time. Some are put off by people's potential to look into your life and see your indiscretions, and others are put off by do-gooder people interfering. So the male interests route into the paranormal and theology of astral body are slightly different for more masculine energy males. Ghost investigations and aliens are more widely attracting male audiences. Women who are prepared to explore the man's approach route to the subject are most likely to get the support with their path. Just don't take them to a fairy festival unless they ask. The Martian door to soul truth and spirit leads to the same place as the Venusian one. Self-validation BC. Question: does someone telling us that we are a good or bad person actually make it real? Answer: people's perception of us is always worth considering and understanding why they might be telling us their opinion wouldn't be a bad idea. However, if they hit a raw nerve with what they say, then there is a very good chance that you have a lesson to learn over it. The good news is that if they say that you are bad and you can agree with their point, you can always do something about it. If they say that you are good just to blow up your ego to get what they want, it won't really matter if you are good or bad, as they will say it anyways. The only true gauge of if we are a good or bad person is when we sit and look at our choices and actions and can honestly say that we would be happy with what karmically came back around. Destiny 3D. Destiny Place-Time Requirements PH. Question: why do we always want to go different places? Answer: the nature of life will always try and get you to learn the important lessons and moral code of life. Unfortunately, that process will cause fallouts with the lesson givers and a need for new places and experiences to generate the needed outcomes. This would lead to total destruction of any relationship and a lot of lingering resentment. Some people choose to see every new meeting or event to be a learning experience to take from and move on. Others see new places and events as a lesson from your past lives to resolve karma and better our future. Being there beside our partners for their hard lessons or our own can be distressing, and you will have a tendency to want to save one another from the lesson which karma judges badly, so best not to be there to let their problem become yours. Seemingly unfair karmic events PH. Question: why does life seem to kick me at every turn? Answer: this is due to going the wrong way in life for some reason or another. The development of our mind and soul is often disregarded in modern life in favor of bodily gain, but the karmic force will insist and pester you. Our moral development and destiny hinges on our self-discipline and self-control to be able to handle the goals we have with full responsibility. The lack of fully considering the responsibilities you have or want will lead to karma getting in the way at every turn until you do. Failing destiny PH. Whoa. Question: can I fail my destiny? Answer: destiny is more like taking life tests throughout your life, and if you learn from the events and don't repeat mistakes, then you will certainly be on track to achieve a good result. However, failure to understand the lessons and progress through the karmic transitions of life and responsibility will lead to a tough life. Even if we achieve what we set out to do, we have made the journey unnecessarily hard for ourselves. Good guidance PH. Question: how can I give good guidance and ensure my expectations and programming don't hinder their destiny? Answer: just asking this question shows awareness to the potential of this problem. By just being mindful to it along the way as life situations occur for them, you maximize the potential to avoid the problem. Our fear and clinginess as parents is often worse than we realize, and learning to encourage loved ones to calculated and intuitive risk-taking is every parent's gremlin. Paranormal 4D. Demons of Booze BC. Question: what causes people to act like idiots on booze sometimes and not others? Answer: many sensitive people and psychics know not to relax their minds in places that they deem haunted or have bad energy, as they know that they will be affected by it. Alcohol lowers our body's defenses to spiritual energies and ethereal disturbances, so any person on alcohol can be affected based on a haunted place or haunting around them, or you for that matter. Many Sophia practitioners pay close attention to the words of alcoholic people, as pearls of wisdom and barely legible truth are there if you look hard. Mirror, mirror on the wall PH. Question: why do I dislike my reflection on some days worse than others? Answer: our soul energy or ebb is something that not everyone pays attention to but should. When we are on a good ebb of personal power and feeling positive in ourselves, the reflection looks better than when we are negative at a bad ebb. Try it for yourself. Go take a look before going to the garden or nature and tuning into the trees and plants until you feel the good ebb energy. Then go and look in the mirror again. Casper, BC. Question: are ghosts real? Answer: try looking for such a thing in the middle of the night with pure intentions to answer your own question. For the most lingering truth to the phenomena of spirits and ghosts, it is worth asking if there is such a thing trying to guide you from the other side while you are there doing your experiment. Guides and angels PH. Question: how can I connect to my guides and higher angelic beings? Answer: our own personal resonant frequency is the key. We need to be in a calm, positive pace of mind to hear the highest truths, and being able to think at higher frequencies of understanding are important. Consider the idea that your guides probably want to guide you to the following things: good personal reflections of behavior and health, good relationships, and finding the thing you are naturally gifted at. Then the path will show you how that can be of benefit to others. When you are ready to see these truths, the guides and higher angelic beings will bless your life abundantly. Try counting to 5 in your mind, then stopping. Now do it again and ask for your guide or angels to continue counting when you stop and see what happens. If you are ready to talk to them, you will know by the end of this experiment, and if not, watch for their external presence guiding you, as once you reach out, they see it as game on. Spiritual games BC PH Woe. Question: are spiritual and paranormal games safe, such as Ouija boards? Answer: despite being sold as a game online, these instruments of dimensional connection are far from a toy. Many of these so-called games have a similar outcome to that of a stranger playing knock and run on the grumpy neighbor with a vuvuzela on a Sunday. So be careful how you or friends use a board or game. Ghosts and spirits are in a realm that is full of pain and suffering, with almost frantic urgency to get out of their dilemma. Opening the doors to the pain and misery is thoughtless and crazy if you don't know what you are doing to help things that are stuck. Angry invisible souls are very life detrimental, and they don't like knock and run. What goes around Peach? Question: does karma exist? Answer: the reflective nature of our existence has been discussed and understood by our ancestors and modern philosophers, and it is becoming apparent that the quantum nature of matter does in fact work to some clever construct to ensure the lessons of life play out no matter which way we turn or go. This clearly indicates clever design, and karmic retribution can be witnessed in many ways all around us every day. It's certainly not uncommon to hear someone say, "That's their karma," so we do accept these forces of life to be real as a society collective, no matter what they are known as. Getting to the point Peach. Question: if everything happens for a reason, how do we find out what the reason was? Answer: many cultures from around the world have systems to understand the paranormal forces of life. The Vedics look for the lesson, the gift, and the bigger picture of each event, as they believe all three are held within each moment. Taoists walk with their minds open to the truth, and the Tao blesses them with the answers if they ponder the reasons and not just move on to the next event mindlessly. It is clear to see that the forces of Sophia wish us to understand the events that transpire. We just need to be patient and diligent to figure it out. The tools of Sophia are perfect for such things. Chapter 6. Awkward questions. Along the way, I had many questions put to me by women, and all of them have been valuable to my own self-growth. However, some of the questions are very controversial, and the answers that I found may well anger some readers. I'm putting these in a section of their own, so anyone can skip this if it bites too hard. However, right or wrong, these were the answers that I found, and I have every hope that you can learn from them as I have. Common problems to avoid. Question: what are the most common mistakes made by parents that they are unaware of? Answer: 1. Single parents. Many single parents become so invested in their child's happiness as a source of their own that when it comes to the role of moral guidance and disciple, they put it off to avoid their own emotional come-down, and in doing so, let the situation pressure build and explode with fury when it is dealt with. Thus, the child is being left with the feeling, "Thanks for the unnecessary hard-ass lesson. Why not tell me sooner if you were that pissed off?" This outcome carries a bad reflectional energy, so it ends up a worse outcome. Calm talk at the first sign of a problem is best. Save fury until they have ignored you at least twice. 2. Joint parents. Many parents in modern times contradict or undermine the lessons that one parent tries to install into the child, such as mothers being angry because men are too hard on them, and dads angry about the fact that the mothers are too soft. We live in a world of opposites and balance. There is no black without white, night without day. Explaining why the big wide world makes dad a bit harder than mom is a valuable lesson, and that a mother's need to nurture can lead to a bullied existence even for adult men. Ask around and see how many men would like their mom to bring them lunch at work. Educating a child on the morality and social expectancies on them in life is a challenge, but one evening of discussion on a plan to tackle it can go a long way to a happy future and well-mannered kids. Question: why is my child struggling with bullying at school? Answer: it is highly likely that they are an empath. This condition is a real problem when you are at school, as you can't seem to be as thoughtless and ignorant as everyone else. This leads you to make comment and opinion to the injustice or hard lessons playing out on friends. An empath's will to care is before their time at school age and leads to brutal letdowns, as less empathic people friend hop and bitch about you behind your back for caring about them. Life seems so cold and hard to a child empath who just wants to share their love and kindness. Show them the empathic nature they have and let them see the difference to others, as this gift they have can offer them such rewards in the big wide world if school doesn't destroy them, and that gift before they leave. Question: why is my luck so bad? A. Karma and luck are one and the same thing, so check your reflections and attitude to life. B. It may be that you are being luckier than you think, just not in the way you want. Or it could be that you are just a selfish person that karma has caught up with. Parenting problems. Question. Why is it so hard to educate my kids on morals and behavior? A. There is a good chance that you have not explained to them that you get a karmic ass kicking for not doing your best to educate them. All the time they chase after deep or low moral choices led on by the biggest idiot at school. You as the parent have no choice but to relentlessly try and give them a damn clue as to the unpleasant outcome they are generating. Whether it's being disliked or getting their ass kicked for being a bully, it's coming round like it or not. Plus, if there are any kids reading this, please understand that the karma of bringing life into this world and not educating it well is pretty bad, so give your parents a break. I would like to say a special thank you to all the beautiful and kind women who have offered questions and thoughts for this book. Thank you so much for your mind's openness to my requests and for your honesty of thoughts. I couldn't have done it without you. Another special thanks goes out to the man who pointed me in the direction of Sophia all those years ago. It's been quite the adventure. Thank you and lots of love and care to all of you who care so much for everyone.
Further knowledge and information on Sophia and the dimensions of life can be found at the Dimensional Life website.